Hi all and welcome back! First new release of the year I tried was DuneCrawl. In this video, I'm focusing on the opening hours, how the start feels, how the onboarding works, and whether those first hours make me want to keep playing. As always, no filler. DuneCrawl is a co-op action-adventure built around exploration and vehicle-based combat. When I say vehicle, I really mean a slow, giant crab. You play as desert privateers, traveling across massive dust seas on top of a walking crustacean called a Dune Crawler. It's playable solo, but it's clearly designed around co-op. The game opens with a short tutorial that introduces movement, combat, and the basic idea of the world. You don't get a long story dump up front. Instead, it gets you onto the crawler fairly quickly and lets the mechanics do most of the talking. Because of that, the lack of voice acting doesn't really stand out. The focus is firmly on how the game plays. You're riding the giant crab within about 20 minutes, and from there it's clearly the core of the game. Once you have the Dune Crawler, the opening hours are built around short excursions into the surrounding desert. You take on simple jobs, travel to nearby points of interest, and get a feel for how the crawler handles in combat. One player pilots, others can man cannons, repair damage, or jump off to fight on foot. You can do all of this solo, but it's slower and can feel a bit clunky early on. The Dune Crawler feels a lot like a pirate ship. The desert is basically the sea, and the crawler is your moving base. When you're alone, you're doing every job yourself. With other players, those roles split naturally, and everything flows better. This difference becomes clearer later on. Solo play doesn't get harder in terms of enemy numbers or damage, it's actually more forgiving there. But everything is slower, and managing every role yourself can feel a bit wonky. Combat is split between two layers. On the crawler, fights feel more like slow, positional battles, lining up cannon shots, managing distance, and keeping enemies from boarding. On foot, combat is faster and messier, with melee and ranged enemies swarming around you. One of the key mechanics introduced early is launching yourself out of a cannon onto an enemy crawler to board it, which immediately shifts the fight into close-quarters chaos. This back and forth between crawler combat and on-foot chaos is something you keep dealing with as the game opens up more. Exploration plays a big role right from the start. This is an open world, and you're moving freely between small settlements, ruins, and oasis-style locations. You pick up quests in towns, earn money, and find gear while exploring. That exploration directly feeds into getting stronger, more money, better gear, and upgrades that matter once encounters start pushing back. Onboarding is clear, but intentionally light. The game explains what each station on the crawler does, but it doesn't over-tutorialize. You're expected to learn by doing, adjusting roles mid-fight, experimenting with positioning, and figuring out when it's safe to leave the crawler to fight on foot. That works well, but it also means solo play feels more demanding early on. Visually, the game makes a strong first impression. The hand-drawn art style stands out immediately, and the isometric camera gives a good overview during combat, without feeling too distant. Performance in the opening hours was generally stable. I played on Steam Deck, and when things get busy, the frame rate can drop. The camera is also quite zoomed in on the crawler there, which can make fights harder to read.
Progression in the opening hours is mostly about unlocking small upgrades and getting better gear. You're not overwhelmed with systems early, but the loop becomes clear. Better gear, tougher encounters, then back out again. By the time you reach this point, you've seen enough to know how the game wants to be played. The biggest thing to understand early is that DuneCrawl is not a pure action game and not a pure exploration game. The opening hours constantly shift between travel, combat, light questing, and moments of chaos when everything goes wrong at once. That mix is where the game gets its identity. That's what the opening hours of DuneCrawl look like. You're on the crab quickly, you're doing short trips into the desert, and it becomes obvious pretty fast that the game works best with other people. Have you tried the game solo or with friends? Let me know in the comments. That was it. If you like videos that don't waste your time, please consider liking and subscribing. Regardless, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.